Al Capone Does My Shirts, A Tale from Alcatraz. Part 1. Chapter 1. Devil's Island. Friday, January 4th, 1935. Today, I moved to a 12-acre rock, covered with cement, topped with bird turd, and surrounded by water. Alcatraz sits smack in the middle of a bay, so close to the city of San Francisco, I can hear them call score on a baseball game on Marina Green. Okay, not that close, but still. I'm not the only kid who lives here. There's my sister Natalie, except she doesn't count. And there are 23 other kids who live on the island because their dads work as guards or cooks or doctors or electricians for the prison like my dad does. Plus there are a ton of murderers, rapists, hitmen, con men, stick-up men, embezzlers, connivers, burglars, kidnappers, and maybe even an innocent man or two, though I doubt it. The convicts we have here are the kind other prisons don't want. I never knew prisons could be picky, but I guess they can. You get to Alcatraz by being the worst of the worst, unless you're me. I came here because my mother said I had to. I want to be here like I want poison oak on my private parts. But apparently nobody cares, because now I'm Moose Flanagan, Alcatraz Island boy. All my sister can go to the Esther P. Marinoff School, where kids have macaroni salad in their hair and wear their clothes inside out, and there isn't a chalkboard or a book in sight. Not that I've ever been to the Esther P. Marinoff, but all of Natalie's schools are like this. I peek out the front window of our new apartment, and I look up to see a little glass room lit bright in the dark night. This is the Dock Guard Tower, a popcorn stand on stilts where somebody's dad sits with enough firepower to blow us all to smithereens. The only guns on the island are up high in the towers or the catwalks, because one flick of the wrist and a gun carried by a guard is a gun carried by a criminal. The keys to all the boats are kept up there for the same reason. They even have a crapper in each tower so the guards don't have to come down to take a leak. Besides the guard's tower, there's a water all around, black and shiny like tar. A full moon cuts a white path across the bay while the wind blows, making something creak and a buoy clang in the distance. My dad is out there too. He has guard duty in another tower somewhere on the island. My dad's an electrician for Pete's sake. What's he doing playing prison guard? My mom's in her room unpacking, and Natalie's sitting on the kitchen floor, running her hands through her button box. She knows more about those buttons than it seems possible to know. If I hide one behind my back, she can take one look at her box and she can name the exact button I have. Nat, you okay? I sit down on the floor next to her. Moose and Natalie go on a train. Moose and Natalie eat meatloaf sandwich. Moose and Natalie look out the window. Yeah, we did all that. And now that we're here with some swell fellows like Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly, Natalie Flanagan's whole family. Well, I wouldn't exactly say they're family. More like next-door neighbors, I guess. Moose and Natalie go to school, she says. Yep, but not the same school, remember? You're going to this nice place called the Esther P. Marinoff. I try to sound sincere. Nice place, she repeats, stacking one button on top of another. I've never been good at fooling Natalie. She knows me too well. When I was 5, I was kind of a runt. Smallest kid of all my cousins, shortest kid in my kindergarten class, and on my block too. Back then, people called me by my real name, Matthew. Natalie was the first person to call me Moose. I swear I started growing to fit the name that very day. Now I'm 5'11" and a half inches, as tall as my mom and a good 2 inches taller than my dad. My father tells people I've grown so much he's going to put my supper into pickle jars and sell it under the name Incredible Growth Formula. I think about going in my room now, but it smells like the inside of an old lunch bag in there. My bed's a squeaky old army cot. When I sit down, it sounds like dozens of mice are dying an ugly death. There's no photograph in this apartment, no washing machine, no phone. There's a radio cabinet, but someone yanked the workings out. Who gutted the radio anyway? They don't let criminals in here, do they? So I'm a little jumpy, but anybody would be. Even the silence here is strange. It's quiet, like something you can't hear is happening. I think about telling my best friend Pete about this place. It's the Devil's Island. Do, do, do. Pete would say in a deep, spooky voice, like they do on the radio. Devil's Island. Do, do, do. I whisper just like Pete, but without him, it doesn't seem funny. Not funny at all. Okay, that's it. I'm sleeping with my clothes on. Who wants to face a convicted felon in your pajamas? Chapter 2. Errand Boy. Saturday, January 5th, 1935. When I wake up, I feel kind of foolish, having slept with my shoes on and my baseball bat under the covers with me. My mom's banging around on the tiny hall outside my room. I stick the bat under my bed. "Where's Dad?" I ask. "Right here," my dad answers from the living room. He's sitting on the floor with Natalie, holding a pile of buttons in each hand. "Dad, could you show me the cell house, and then maybe could we play ball? I sound like I'm 6.5 now, but I can't help it. He's been gone forever, and I hardly got to see him at all yesterday. It's lonely in my family when he's not around." His smile seems to lose its pink. He puts Natalie's buttons down in 2 careful piles. He gets up, brushes his uniform off. I follow him to the kitchen. "You're not working today, are you?" "I'm having a devil of a time setting up extra circuits in the laundry." "Yeah, but you worked last night." Mom squeezes by to run her hands under the tap. "Your father has 2 jobs here, Moose, electrician and guard." "2!" Natalie calls from the living room. "2 jobs, 2! Doesn't anyone in this family believe in a private conversation?" "I could help you," I offer. He shakes his head. "You're not allowed in there. Convict areas are off limits to you kids," he says. "I'm not a kid. I'm taller than you are." "Go ahead, rub it in," he laughs. "But at least I don't have those big feet either. They're an affliction, those feet." He grabs my head and knocks on it. "I haven't seen you in 3 whole months," I say. 2 months, 22 days, 22 days, Natalie calls out. That's right, Sweet Pea. You tell him, my father calls back. I'll bet you took Natalie out this morning, didn't you? The question comes shooting out before I can stop it. Oh, for goodness sakes, Moose, my mother looks up from where she's jammed in the corner, scrubbing the icebox. You weren't even up. That isn't fair, I say, though I know better. Don't talk to me about fair, young man. Don't get me started on that one. My mother glares at me. I'm sorry, my father says. He reaches for his officer's hat and he settles it on his head. There is something I'd like better than to spend the day with you. You know that. His eyes look at me and then quickly away. Wait. You're leaving now, I ask. He groans. Afraid so, but there will be plenty of time to spend together. I promise, buddy, okay? He smiles, he kisses my mom and Nat goodbye, and he heads for the door. I watch him walk by the front window, his head bobbing like his foot hurts. My mom glances at her watch. My goodness, is that the time already? Moose, I need you to watch Natalie while I take the boat to the city. I have to get groceries and arrange an ice delivery, my mother says. Ice? I asked. We can't afford an electric refrigerator. We've got to keep this one. She taps the old ice box. They have a grocery downstairs though, right? Doesn't have much. Try to do some unpacking while I'm gone. 11, 12, and 13 are all your stuff. My mother points to the crates, each numbered by Natalie. She takes off her apron and she puts on her coat, her gloves, and her hat. You're leaving now, too, I ask. I'll be back as soon as I can. Take good care of her, okay? My mom grabs my arm and she squeezes it. I know she's thinking about what happened on the train yesterday. I had gone to take a leak, and when I came back, Nat was kicking and screaming. She pulled a curtain off the rod and sent her button box flying down the aisle. My mom had her arms around Nat, trying to keep her from hurting anyone. The conductor and the motorman were yelling. People were staring. One lady was taking pictures. My mom finally got her calmed down by sitting on her right in the middle of the train aisle. I don't know which was more embarrassing, Natalie's behavior or my mother's. Sometimes Nat's tantrums go on and on for days, and nothing makes them stop. It's impossible to know what will set her off. She looks pretty peaceful now, though. Sure, Mom. I follow her to the door. I didn't really mean what I said about it not being fair that Natalie got to go out with Dad this morning. I didn't. You know I didn't, Mom. She sighs. All right, Moose. Just keep your eye on Natalie, okay? I watch her leave. A haze rises from the bay, like a wall of gray closing me off from everything. In the kitchen, I find a casserole dish I don't recognize. Thought you might enjoy some manicotti. Looking forward to meeting you. B. Trixel, the card says. The manicotti tastes like big fat spaghetti with pizza inside. I'm going for fourths or maybe fifths when I hear the knock. Don't answer it, I yell to Natalie as I wade through the boxes to the front door. The last thing I want is to meet new kids when Natalie's around. New people don't understand about her. They just don't. Open up, a girl cries. It's a little kid, a short person, anyway. That's all. I can make it out through the window. No, I call back, but it's too late. Natalie is already there. She has both hands on the knob and all her weight rocked back on her heels, trying to get the door open. Don't open it! I shove my weight against the door. Come on, you know you're gonna, the girl outside says. Oh, great. I have little Eleanor Roosevelt on one side of the door and Natalie the Screamer on the other side. What they say about females being the weaker sex is the biggest lie in the world. It doesn't matter that I weigh more than both of them put together. I know when I'm beat. I let Natalie open the door. The girl outside has black curly hair that's flat on one side as if she slept on it. She's missing half her teeth. The ones she has seem either too large or too small for her mouth. How old are you? She demands. 12. No, you're not, she says, walking right in without bothering to ask. Why would I lie about how old I am? She bites her lip like she's thinking about it. You got a big neck. You're supposed to get a long nose if you tell a lie, not a big neck. No, she shakes her head as if absolutely certain I'm wrong. And you're what, 7? 7 1/4. Hello, Natalie. The girl smiles, her big tooth, little tooth, gap tooth smile. Your dad told me all about her, she whispers. We both look at Natalie. Her hair is like mine, brown and blonde, all mixed up like birdseed. Different eyes, though. Mine are brown. Hers are green like marbles. Nobody likes to trade away. But the way she holds her mouth too open and her shoulders uneven and one hand clamped down on the other, people know. They always know. How old is she? The girl whispers. 10, I answer. Natalie's age is always 10. Every year, my mom has a party for her, and she turns 10 again. My mom started counting Nat's age this screwy way a long time ago. It was just easier to have her younger than me. Then my mother could be happy for each new thing I did without being another thing that Natalie couldn't do. What's your name anyway? I ask. Teresa Madaman. I suppose I'd show you around. You haven't seen anything yet, have you? We've just got here last night. Natalie, come on. We're going now. Run, get her coat, Teresa orders. I'm as big as a linebacker, and a 7-year-old girl treats me like her errand boy. Does she smell weakness in me? Still, I went to get a look at this little weird island. And what do I care what a bunch of criminals think anyway? I scribble a note to my mom to tell her that we've gone out and to prop the paper between the ketchup and the cod liver oil. Come on, Nat. It's not everybody who gets to live down the street from thieves and murderers, you know.